Warning, we are not trained or licensed professionals. Do not take any advice that we give as official doctoral prescribed medical treatment. We only use the name as a means to appreciate cinema as a therapeutic device, not to be confused with drugs, antidepressants, or any other forms of enhancements that you might find in legal states. Please enjoy responsibly.
Additional disclaimer. If the film says we can say it too. So check the film rating, and that will be our episode rating.
Welcome to Film Therapy. This is a podcast where we talk about movies and other random assortments of things and have occasional glimpses into the insides of the mind.
Therapizing at its finest.
Exactly. This week we have a very special guest with us. Joining us today is my friend Graham.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here, even though I have no qualifications whatsoever.
Do you think
Neither
we do?
do we.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, glad to be here, of course.
Do you wanna weave the grand tale of how we met? It's actually quite the story.
Oh yeah. It all started on Letterboxd with a Clue review, and then us and another one of our friends just went off in the comments quoting everything from that movie until eventually we just went through the entire film.
Line by line.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
psychopaths.
Yeah. Yes.
Amazing. I knew Jake found his people when he told me you guys were doing that. So funny. So then you guys all just started talking and becoming
Yeah,
good
it
friends.
became a group chat, and then we just never stopped talking.
No.
How
all
long
the time.
ago was that?
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
Was it?
A couple of months ago? I feel like it's like a year ago.
I know.
It feels like it's been a long time.
There's no such thing as time anymore.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's see. I'm gonna go to the review here. We started 49 weeks ago.
Okay. Almost a year.
Whoa.
Wait, really? It was almost a year?
No way.
No way. Well, that was when your first comment was. I don't know when the other ones were. Okay, yeah, then we started quoting it. Actually, we started doing the whole script 18 weeks ago. So somewhere between those two.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hang on. Let me see when I jumped in here. I'm going to find it. Yeah, so you two had been going back and forth, and then I jumped in like 18 weeks ago. Yeah, so that was almost a year ago, and then I came in and just started posting quotes. But I forget why. I think I just started to do it.
Yeah, we went like on and off and back and forth.
Yeah.
I love it. So Jake asked Graham what movies he'd like to talk about today, and we are here to talk about Black Christmas from 1974, right?
Correct.
And A Christmas Story. So I'm excited to talk about that. I watched Black Christmas earlier today. It was really good, and I've seen A Christmas Story several times. And you guys watched these together?
We did. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
We debated watching all of the countless Christmas Story sequels, but we didn't. It was really late, so
How many are there?
we'll get 36. Counted them myself.
You're not gonna believe how many there are.
There's
Oh,
actually, yeah. You will not. We'll get there.
Oh no, I had no idea.
We'll get there.
So Graham, what made you want to choose these movies?
I guess because, it's such an interesting double feature, like, because both directed by Bob Clark, both have that kind of Christmas holiday connection, but they're both obviously like so crazy different in tone. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a great like career trajectory for him, It's so interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. When did A Christmas Story come out?
83.
Yeah.
83. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because like watching Black Christmas, like we were noticing just how there's still like just this like warm glow of Christmas, but then it's more just like juxtaposed with like horror. And then in Christmas Story, whenever they showed like how warm and cozy Christmas was, I kept waiting for something bad to happen. I felt so unsettled.
Oh no. Yeah, to have a precursor.
In A Christmas Story with the phone call scene with Schwartz getting like beat up over the phone, it like reminds you of the trauma.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That scene messed me up. Santa's being kind of similar in both movies, you know?
Like, you don't realize how much horror is in A Christmas Story.
Until you watch it right after Black Christmas.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, I really thought Black Christmas was fun today. It took me a minute to get into it. I actually woke up this morning and said, oops, I still haven't watched that movie. I need to watch it today. And I watched it at work. And
best place to watch it.
So yeah, it took me a minute to kind of get into it. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But then I really got sucked in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it got better and better. Like, felt like the performances were really good, or most of them. And some of it was really funny. Some of it was pretty terrifying. So yeah, I liked it. This is my first time seeing it.
Yeah, when we watched it, that was my first time having seen it also. So
I want to see the remake now.
there's 2 remakes.
I want to see both of them.
Ooh, bad idea.
Oh no, are they bad?
No, they, in their own special way, yes, they are bad. The first one, the first remake from 2006, that one's interesting. It's actually, it's fun. It knows what it is. The second remake from 2019 just takes so many liberties and just goes. It's not a good movie.
Okay, never mind. I won't ruin it then by watching bad movies.
I would watch the first one if you're into the universe, I guess.
Okay.
Because the cast in that one, it's like Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Andrea Martin. She comes back to play Miss Mac.
That's awesome.
And Gretchen Wieners, she's in it.
Okay, that sounds entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we should recap Black Christmas really quick.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that one first?
Yeah, that sounds good. It's the first chronologically.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna butcher this real quick. So, Black Christmas takes place over the Christmas holiday at a university, college, conservatory type place.
Somewhere in Toronto.
Up north, yes.
Or is it Toronto? Is that where they filmed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the main character just has a British accent.
Yep.
I'm going to talk about that, yeah. So it's at a sorority house, and all these girls are getting stalked and getting scary phone calls from a certain person, and we don't know who it is until the end. And it's a horror film. That's basically it. Yeah, so the final girl's voice, it was just so distracting to me. I was like, what kind of accent is that? At first I was like, okay, British. Then I was like, wait. At some points it sounded Bostonian, and then I was like, well, maybe it's kind of some sort of Spanish accent. And then I was like, no, you know what she talks like? She just talks like an old movie star, like
like that transatlantic kind of.
Yeah.
I was getting like notes of Australia almost.
Yeah, like what is it? Is she in other things?
She is in It, right?
Yes, Maddie. She is adult Bill's wife in It, the guy with the ponytail. And then she's also as Norma Bates in Psycho 4.
Oh, my Lanta.
Which, if you missed it, that's what we talked about last time. Go watch Psycho 2. I'm just going to keep plugging it every episode until everyone in the world has seen it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, all right. So
that's what. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that we watched that like a week and a half ago and you forgot. That's amazing. I love that.
What? Are you sure? In the fourth one, like in the flashbacks?
Yes, it's the same woman.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Dead serious. Then what else? What else was she in that we talked about during that?
She's also in It, the 90s It with Tim Curry.
Oh, yeah.
She's Bill's wife. When they were adults, she's the guy with the ponytail, his wife.
Oh my god.
I think she played Juliet in an adaptation of Romeo and Juliet.
She did, yeah, in the
Yes.
1968 movie, which I haven't seen, but I've always been weirdly curious to watch. Um, we almost watched it in school. We were gonna watch that and the '90s version, and then our teacher was just like, "Nah, we'll just watch the '90s version." And I'm like, "Okay, I was hoping for some film comparison there, but you know."
I had the same experience.
Oh, really? You did?
Yeah, we watched it in class and just like, what is this movie?
It's very fascinating. I don't remember anything about it except for like the ending.
Okay.
All I remember is that it was like modern, but it still had the Shakespearean dialogue.
I remember wanting subtitles. I was so confused.
Oh gosh. I can't watch anything without subtitles. I'm just lost.
No, I feel you.
I know.
Totally. Like every movie, even if I've seen it, I want subtitles. It's funny because like there's such a stigma around watching foreign films for some people, but then for me, I'm like I watch movies in English with English subtitles, so you know.
Yeah. I have to read.
Because you miss stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it helps with names.
You know, there's like stuff in the background and...
Like this one, I didn't watch with subtitles, ashamedly. I should have.
Shame.
But yeah, to know like what that guy is saying on the phone and some of like the names, some of the names threw me off. I like spend too much time thinking about, oh, is her name Mrs. Mike or Mrs. Mac? And then I get lost, and then I'm like, why do they call her Phil? And then it's short for Phyllis, but I would have known that if I would have saw the subtitles spell Phyl. And I was just too distracted, so I don't know why I did that.
That's the only reason I knew they were talking about Phyllis. I'm like, oh, it's spelled with a Y.
Right. Yeah. I saw that in the credits later. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I can't believe that was the same actress.
I love that. because earlier this week I'm like, Maddie, you'll never believe this. We're crossing the connection between last week and this week is the actress, and then she's like, oh, okay.
And then I forgot.
No. You're a very smart person. I don't want to sound like I'm like making fun of your intelligence. Like,
no,
it's just
good.
Funny, like, but seriously,
No
because like
idea.
there's
No
like
idea.
a 20 year time gap between Psycho 4 and this, so like that makes sense. But then in my head, I'm like, she looks the same, and her voice is the same.
Yeah, her voice is weird. I should have like known from that. I thought her performance was way better in this than Psycho 4.
Yeah,
though.
people say she's really good as in Romeo and Juliet, but I haven't seen it. So, but yeah, I would agree.
I gotta watch the Psycho sequels, man.
Yes.
I died laughing when that guy was dying laughing, that cop or the detective, when he couldn't stop laughing after the guy wrote down the phone number of like Fellatio 202 208 or something.
It's
like,
a new exchange.
and the guy was just like wheezing in the back. And it made me laugh so hard.
Memorable.
He's credited as the laughing detective, I think.
I was just surprised by how many actors I knew from this movie. Like, I knew Olivia Hussey as Jess because she's in the other movies, as we stated. The guy who played Peter, he's Dave in 2001: A Space Odyssey. He's the main protagonist of that movie.
What?
If you can count him as the main protagonist. Margot Kidder was Barb. She's Lois Lane in the Superman movies.
Oh, wow, okay.
John Saxon, he's Nancy's dad in Nightmare on Elm Street, and he plays the lieutenant in this.
Oh.
And, hang on.
Andrea Martin.
Oh, yeah, she's Miss Fowl in Jimmy Neutron.
Miss Fowl? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. In Jimmy Neutron, yes, that's her.
Jimmy.
Who's that? Yeah, that's her. That's awesome.
We had a teacher who kind of sounded like her, and we would always make fun of her.
Oh.
Okay, wow. I'm oblivious to all those, so nice.
But
Good
yeah,
job.
thank you.
What was the scary part for you guys?
It's not one part, but just like every time they showed Claire's body with like the bag over her head in the window, it's just so chilling. Like you could walk by and see that and you'd have no idea.
It reminded me of that scene from Disturbia, like when they find the bodies in the walls. It gave me flashbacks to that, and that's super creepy part too.
Ooh, I've never seen that.
It's so good. Well, I mean, it was good when I
still
watched
haven't
it in
seen
like
it.
2009, and then I rewatched it, and it's okay, but it's worth watching, I'd say.
It's Rear Window, but with
Yeah, yeah.
Shia's in it, right? Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, gotta see
Mm-hmm.
that.
It's very similar to Rear Window. Yeah. The ending really got under my skin
Yes.
because it's just silent except for that phone. And like we see her go to sleep and then we slowly like pan out and I was like
I
waiting
know.
for like a jump
I
scare or
know.
something, and I'm so glad there wasn't one. But like just that uncomfortable feeling of dread it just gives you is just incredible. That was so great.
Oh my god.
Yes.
And then it's like, let's watch A Christmas Story.
Yeah, it was really well done, the ending. Unfortunately, I left work and then had to finish like the last 5 minutes at home, and then Jake called me, and then I had to finish the last like a minute afterwards, so I kind of got
I'm
broken
sorry.
up. But no, you're
I'm
good.
sorry. I had something urgent.
I know. But so I'll probably go back and watch like the last 10 minutes because, okay, so because I was a little confused with if that guy, he's not actually the killer because the killer is still alive in the attic, right? Spooky.
Spoilers if you don't know, but we say that every time. So if you don't know by now, spoilers. Unless this is your first time, in which case, hello, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, when she's like standing over like Peter's body or whatever, and then the cops just think that like it was in self-defense and he was the killer all along. It's like, okay, then that's the, it's like in Psycho 2 when the cops are just like, oh yeah, we know what's going on, and then
Yeah.
movies do that a lot.
Yeah. Especially horror movies. They got, have the false happy ending and then leave you with the dread of what's to come and possible sequels, but I'm glad this one didn't really go there.
Yeah, that's kind of a pet peeve of mine with horror movies. When they just can't have an ending, they just end on a scare or like a tease for a sequel. It's like if the second one's good, then yeah, but like if the movie it's almost like the movie doesn't have its own conclusion in sometimes. I think it's more just tiresome when you're on like the fifth or sixth movie and then they're just still like ending on cliffhangers. I'm like, y'all just need to like end this shit already.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. That was the 80s and the 70s, but especially the 80s.
I mean, I love like convoluted, like ridiculously long horror timelines, like Nightmare on Elm
yeah.
Street.
I will concede on the flip side that is also great.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so fun. I want to marathon those again sometime. Because thankfully you'd end with New Nightmare, so you'd have like a great like, final movie. You wouldn't have to end with like part 6 or something.
Yes. And just forget completely about the 2009 remake.
It's funny because when I watched it, I looked up. There's an alternate ending that's like way better. So that was really interesting.
I love alternate endings.
Yeah, I will find it and post it. It is.
Yeah.
It's actually like, it's better for me. Yeah. So So I really liked that the movie just ended, and it's just ending, and even the entire credits just left you with this sense of like, just uncomfortableness and just like I'm like, okay, I don't want to get up, I don't want to like go anywhere in my apartment, I just want to like stay in my chair in the living room and just not do anything.
Yeah, like it's almost like desensitizing to watch so many horror movies. It's like they're not scary anymore, but then you have something like that and it just like kind of sits with you, and like I had to close all the doors in my apartment. Like I don't want to see anything.
Yeah, like that, exactly. The part with the phone calls, Maddie, Graham and I talked about this while watching. The part with the phone calls when the person gets a call from the killer. I didn't know if that was something that inspired Wes Craven when he made Scream.
Oh, I'm sure 100%.
Yeah, it had, because this was like, I mean, not the first like slasher. I mean, there's like Giallo before this, but this is the one that like influenced like Halloween and then Friday the 13th came out of that. This was really like the start of like the slasher boom.
Yeah, really, really OG.
Yeah, totally.
And it's really good. Like really, I mean, obviously it's the original, so it is original, but I thought that there were some really good parts of the script that haven't been completely used over and over again in other slasher movies, so I thought it was unique.
And even like the whole thing with like the killer, the calls coming from inside the house, like it's not original, like it's not the first time that's been done. Like we had When a Stranger Calls, I think in like 71 maybe. But like it does it the best, I think.
Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, I really liked that. And it's funny just how just all of the things that influence, like all the influences just kind of trickled down into more slashers and more horror. Like I remember there's an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode when like the one with the clown, and then you know it's like that's like a big like shocking moment in the episode. It's like, oh, the killer's calling from inside the house. It's like, oh no. So like even when you get down to that level, it's still like inspired by that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because it was like an urban legend first, and then it just kind of became this big phenomenon.
Yeah,
Kind of glad we don't have landlines anymore.
a little bit.
Is that even? I've been wondering. Is that even like possible to like call your own house with landlines?
Well, so in this movie, you know, they had two different numbers.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
like one was Mrs. Max, and then the other one was for the sorority house. So that's how
gotcha.
they could do it there. I guess like When a Stranger Calls, like the one from whatever 2006 or something, or 9 or whatever. That one was she was getting calls on her cell phone
Yeah, they could do
from
anything.
the house phone. So yeah, I guess.
Well, that's a way to do it.
Yeah, so I guess we can still get stalked with our cell phones, obviously.
Oh no, that's creepy.
I'm scared.
Can we talk about the caroling sequence? Because that was by far
Yes.
favorite part of the movie, most memorable.
Yes.
It's horrifying.
It was amazing.
It's amazing. It's horrifying. It's amazing. It's everything.
Like her standing in the doorway, like next to the red lights, and it's like this beautiful, sweet music, and then oh my god, it's so brutal. And what is that? It's like a glass unicorn figurine.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Just such a not a weird choice, but like something that like nobody else would have done, but like just came out so well.
Yeah, so she's being brutally stabbed while these Christmas carolers are singing outside, and like the cross-cutting I really enjoyed. I thought that was really well done. It made me cringe, like in a good way.
Yes.
The unicorn, yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's something that I would have in my room, you know, and I would just get stabbed. It was so horrific. Oh, the whole theme with like the baby and the children killing and the phone calls, I thought was interesting, the way they tied that all together. So, you know, like Jess was pregnant, she was wanting to get an abortion. Then Peter called and he's like, you're gonna kill the baby. And then when the phone calls were happening, it was weird because at first I thought it was something haunting her, because it was like, it's Billy, like, what'd you do with the kid or something like that? Like, something that made me think of, oh, her mother is scolding her for like getting an abortion or something.
Yeah.
And she's being haunted by that. And then like with the younger girl being murdered in the town, and that all tied together, and she's like so worried about this girl being murdered, but then here she is like, you know, ready just to nonchalantly get an abortion and all this stuff. I thought it was interesting how that all tied together.
Yeah, and the way like the killer like throws their words back at them, because like he can hear everything. He's up there, and he says it's like getting a wart removed, and that's like the seed that like kind of makes you think it's Peter at first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really interesting the way they weaved because you know it's the 70s. You don't expect to see that kind of like forward, you know, themes in these kind of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When did you first see this movie, Graham?
I saw it like a year ago, Christmas time last year.
Okay.
And I had no idea what I was getting into. Like, I was like, oh, it's a fun like Christmas horror. Like, this will be cool. And then, it's like one of the most influential horror movies of all time. Oh, it's directed by the guy who did A Christmas Story. What? Like, it's just
What?
it's so fascinating to me. What did you guys think of the killer? Like, was it a satisfying reveal, just being like a complete like deranged stranger?
Was it satisfying?
I don't know if it was satisfying because there was that open-endedness to it. Like, we never really see him except for that shot of his eye.
Right.
But at the same time, like, it is satisfying because it's so ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be satisfying, but I like the ambiguity.
Yeah, I think what makes it like so effective and just like so scary is like all the implications, because the things he says, it almost sounds like, you know, like things like that he's heard in his life. So, you know, you get the sense that he's been abused. You get the sense that like there's all this like family troubles that he's been going through, and he's like embodying. It's almost like Psycho in a way, you know, like it sounds like he's embodying like his mother's voice when he's scolding everyone, and just the way he goes back and forth. It's so scary.
Yeah.
It is weird. It's like very detached from anything else in the story, which I kind of like because I enjoy, you know, those types of movies where there's people just hiding in the walls.
If you like hiding in the walls, definitely watch the first remake, because
Oh, okay.
that's all
God.
wall stuff.
Oh, wall stuff.
And eyeballs too.
Ooh, creepy. Okay.
Didn't you say in the wait, Graham? I think did you say in the first remake it goes into more of like the killer's backstory and stuff?
Yeah. So there's no ambiguity whatsoever. Like from the beginning, you know what's going on. So like, it takes like the kind of hints that we get like about like Billy's life, and it just completely like, you know, we explicitly see like flashbacks of his mother like locking him in the attic, and you know, just all this like crazy shit he went through.
Wow.
So it is a bit like Psycho 4.
Yeah.
In that way. Or would you also I haven't seen the movie, but would you also say it's kind of like the 2007 Halloween a little bit?
I would say that it's like just way more gore, and like,
Yeah.
I think because what some of the later Halloween films tried to do, like I think especially like, which one was it, like Resurrections, like they try to like go back to the beginning, and like that whole thing of like, oh, like what made Michael like the way he is.
Yeah.
So it was very much like that, like all the trauma you get to see, and it's really gross.
Yeah, I like how it gets kind of psychological then. Get to learn more. See the descent. I like seeing the descent into madness.
Yeah, and like the way he's just like taunting them, and then, oh my god, you know what was so scary was like the very first phone call, like when he's using like all this like this crazy voice and like the mom voice, and then I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Like so clearly, so deadpan. Chills.
I didn't know if that was going to hold up because of how many times you've seen it in like horror films, but like just the way that it was done was just so like effective and chilling.
Yeah, it still works.
I'm glad I saw it, and I enjoyed watching it with you, Graham. And I was surprised by how effective it was, and I love that like it just left me with this just crazy feeling of just feeling unsettled and feeling just like really freaked out and like not wanting to walk around my apartment at all.
Right, like it finds such a good balance of being like so traumatizing, so scary, and like also there's some good humor in there, like Mrs. Mack's whole character, and like when Claire's dad comes over, all the posters on the wall and the alcohol everywhere.
yeah, that was great.
What was with that old lady like flipping someone off in the poster?
Oh, yeah.
I remember you pointed that out to me, and I was just laughing so hard. I'm just like what is this? This is great.
Sorority house.
And then it's just like the darkest shit you've ever seen.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like cheap humor, and it doesn't really feel as structured, like as cliche-ly structured as some of the other slasher movies, you know, where it starts off and like everyone's having sex, and then the sluttiest person gets killed first, you know,
Right.
stuff like that. Like there's none of that, which I like.
Yeah, like it's just random and senseless.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no strategy to like there's no like strategy of being like, okay, we're gonna circle this character, they'll get killed first, so we'll make them this way. We'll make this character like this, and then like there's not like a, like it's not like another movie where it's like, oh, like what order people will die, or you're not as surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because there were no tropes to go off of back then. Like, it practically wrote them.
Right.
Okay, so Peter was Jess's boyfriend, the guy who played the piano.
Yes.
Right.
And he's the guy from 2001.
Okay. And then Claire's boyfriend was the guy at the end that she killed?
No, Peter was the one that she killed at the end. Her boyfriend, Jess's boyfriend.
That was her boyfriend?
Yeah, Peter, the one
Oh, God.
Claire was the first one killed.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it was like Chris, her boyfriend, that came back at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well.
No, I was
That's
definitely. It's a little confusing, like the first time you see it, because, it's Peter's such a strong like red herring, and then.
Yeah.
Like, and then she just like beats him to death, and you're like, oh, she's done it, like she saved the day, but then.
Yikes.
That dread sets in, like it's still happening.
Ugh.
You're just like, oh no.
I mean, he wasn't a good boyfriend, so like maybe she's better off, but still.
That's true.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
Well, actually, what happened was when she killed him, then his soul went up into space and through the Stargate, and that's what the ending of 2001 means. It's Peter from Black Christmas, like ascending.
It's all connected.
Yes.
Let's see, what other Christmassy parts were in it? They were like gonna go on a ski trip. They're having
They have the Christmas
end of the
tree.
semester Christmas party. Yeah, the Christmas wreaths, Christmas tree, Christmas carolers. There wasn't any really gift giving or anything, was there?
I'm trying to think, because there was in the remake, so I want to make sure I don't get it like mixed up.
Yeah, I don't think there was. I just like that the movie's like genuinely like scary and like and it's very unsettling, but it still depicts like Christmas as like with the warm glow and like the nostalgia aspect of like this is just how this season feels. But that's like the backdrop, and then like then the main story is just so intense.
Yeah, like the decorations are like a big part of it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just having that aesthetic. And since Christmas Story has a similar aesthetic, I just felt so unnerved the whole time. I'm like, I've seen this movie. I know everything's gonna be okay, but something's gonna happen to this little boy. Like Billy's gonna pop out somewhere.
All right, you want to jump into A Christmas Story?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Christmas Story came out in 1983, and it follows young Ralphie who wants a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. And then there's just a bunch of random, a bunch of vignettes that happen in his life around
Pretty
that time,
random.
around the Christmas season.
It's like set in the 60s though, right?
No, it's set in the 40s, right?
Oh, the 40s.
Is it the 30s or the 40s?
50s?
It's ambiguous. It feels like late 30s, early 40s, because like there's no indication of like World War II.
Hmm.
And they're listening to the radio. They're not watching TV, really.
Oh, okay. I guess that's why I always thought it was an older movie, but it's just portrayed that way.
Yeah, it just looks like that. No, yeah, and it's supposed to be like kind of, like a child's memory, like it's timeless.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
The first time I saw A Christmas Story in full was last year, beginning of this year?
Oh, really?
Roughly a year ago. Yeah, I'd seen
wow.
clips on TV all the time, but I saw it at the beginning of this year for the first time. And then I remember thinking it's solid. I enjoyed it, but then I'm like, why is this the one that they play for 24 hours on 2 channels? Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, then again, like I get it because like it's a movie where you can just sit back and like you can just watch random scenes and you're okay and you can have it on. But then I'm like, there's other Christmas movies that I definitely enjoy a lot more. But even so, I wouldn't want to watch them for 24 hours straight.
Right?
God. Yeah, for me, I'm never going to be able to see it, like, objectively. Because, like, this is one of the Christmas staples, like, in my family. Like, we had little VHS, and, like, we watched it, like, every year.
That's amazing.
Aww.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. So, like, I just thought, I was like, this is, like, the Christmas movie. Like, this is the main one.
This is it.
I think a lot of people feel that way. I think actually that's like a lot of people feel that, you know?
Yeah, I feel like
Or
it's that
if it's
and,
not
like,
that.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Or yeah, each family has like kind of probably like their own movies that they watch every year. Like for me, it's more the Santa Claus movies.
Oh, yes, for
We
sure.
always used to watch all those.
Maddie, did I tell you that story? How I've only seen the third Santa Claus.
Yeah, I
What?
think you have.
Or wait, Graham, I gotta tell you this story. So me, I was like 8 or 9 years old whenever it came out, and then one of my friends at the time was like, Jake, you want to go see a Christmas movie? And I'm like, of course I do. So then she was like, okay, we're gonna go see Santa Claus 3, and I'm like, okay, I haven't seen Santa Claus 1 or 2. Just a quick question, is that gonna be important? And then she was like, nah, we'll be fine. The third Santa Claus has time travel to the first movie, and I was so confused. And then
There is so
we
much
went to
going back.
And then we went to go watch it in school, like later that year or the next year, like the next year or whatever. Because they're like, oh, for the movie because we would sit down in the gym and watch a movie. Like, oh, this year we're gonna watch Santa Claus 3. And then I'm just sitting there being like, man, it's that weird like time travel movie. I didn't like follow it that well. This is all me, is still like a 9-year-old. So like, so I have still to this day have not seen Santa Claus 1 or 2 or rewatched Santa Claus 3, but I've seen it twice.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was going to be my question. Have you ever got around to watching the first two?
I want to, I just haven't yet. I've seen the trailer for Santa Claus 2 like 500 times on different Disney VHS tapes, so I know the plot. I just haven't sat down and watched the full movie, and I don't know why. So there you go.
Those are ones my family usually watched. Of course, we love Elf.
Yes.
Elf,
But
yeah,
this year
that's a
I
staple.
tried to do like I always watch The Holiday.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I think that was the first one I watched this season. But yeah, A Christmas Story. I think I've just seen several times over the years because it's been on TV and I usually turn it on at some point. It's cute. It's heartwarming. But yeah, again, like kind of like you, Jake, it's not really a staple in my life, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, totally.
What about the Grinch remake? You guys ever watch that?
Like
The
the
Jim
Jim Carrey
Carrey
one?
one.
Yeah, like the live action.
Oh yeah.
I watched that quite a bit as a kid, and I haven't seen it in a few years, and that's another one that I want to sit down and rewatch.
Yeah.
But I remember liking it, and then the cartoon I watched that like almost every year. The original '60s short. But I am curious to rewatch the Jim Carrey one and see how I feel.
I couldn't find it online anywhere.
I've seen The Cat in the Hat more than I've seen The Grinch.
No way.
We watched The Cat in the Hat in school in like kindergarten or first grade. Like after recess, we'd come in and watch movies.
What kind of school did you go to, Jake?
Yes, me as a little 5 or 6-year-old with my friends watching Cat in the Hat, and so like that movie is kind of like ingrained in my mind always. And even though it's not very good, I enjoy watching it because of that.
It gives me anxiety.
I think in the last 6 months, I've seen it at least twice, maybe twice. I think I watched it with 2 different people. My roommate and I watched it, and then I watched it with another friend of mine.
Oh my god. Have you seen that, Graham?
Yeah, Graham, have you seen Cat in the Hat?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes. Yeah, I have, like, this weird memory, like, I must have been, like, 5 or 6, and I don't know, for whatever reason, I was like, Mom, like, you have to get me, like, the Cat in the Hat DVD, like, and I had never seen it. Like, I just wanted to watch it.
Right.
But yeah, I remember thinking it was, like, the greatest movie ever at the time.
Yeah, totally.
And my parents were like, oh, we hate this. Why are you watching this?
It's terrifying.
It's funny because my roommate and I were talking about it a couple days ago, and then one thing that he said was like, it's somehow the worst movie ever, and then it turns into the best movie ever, and then it turns back into the worst movie ever, and I'm like, it's pretty accurate. And then we were I think we were talking about it because we watched Edward Scissorhands, and it's the same production designer, Bo Welch, who directed Cat in the Hat. And like the town in Edward Scissorhands is like the beta version of the Cat in the Hat town.
Oh, I can totally see that. Like the perfect suburbia.
Yes. It's all like that weird green shade and like purple and
Have you seen the Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch?
Never.
Like the new animated one? I haven't either. I don't know if it's good or not.
Something about Benedict Cumberbatch with an American accent just kind of makes me uneasy, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Doctor Strange, I can deal with that, but
Right.
it just sounds off.
It sounds off when it's like a voice because you don't have his face. So like you hear this voice and you're like, it kind of sounds like Benedict Cumberbatch, but then you're like, oh wait, it is. Like at least with Doctor Strange, like you see him, so you know it's him. If that makes any sense. Does that make any sense at all?
No.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
Okay. So like everyone knows Benedict Cumberbatch's voice. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
So like if you watch like some BBC documentary and it's just his voice, you know it's just his voice. But then like with his American accent, when you're watching Doctor Strange, it works because like you see him talking, so you know it's like his voice. But then like with the Grinch, like when you just hear his voice but it's coming out of the Grinch, something doesn't add up because it's like it is Benedict Cumberbatch, but it's not the one we're mostly used to, and it's coming out of a character that sounds either like Boris Karloff or Jim Carrey.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like the uncanny valley of sound.
Yes. Probably less uncanny than Cats, though, for sure.
My God.
Which, no, I have not seen Cats. I've only seen the musical, but not live, but like the recording. But I haven't seen the new movie, and I never intend to.
I saw that one in theaters.
You did?
Graham.
Yeah, that was... And my girlfriend was so mad because she's like, I do not want to go to this.
Oh no. Oh no.
But she loves me, so we went anyway.
Aw.
That's great.
So sweet. And then you were like, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yes, yeah, no, it was like so traumatizing. The dancing was great. Everything else was terrible.
Did you know going in what it would be?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because the second the trailer dropped, it was like the butt of a joke.
Yes,
Like,
of
what
course.
the hell is this?
If you do like musicals, Graham, I would recommend watching the like the 90s like recording or whatever they put on
Oh, I've
VHS
seen
or
it.
DVD.
I've seen it.
Yeah, cause that when I watched that, I'm like I really appreciated just all the creativity and all like just how well the makeup was and how like the dancing and performances were. But then like when you watch the new movie, it's like you can't really do that because it's like that weird CG.
Yeah, it's so much less charming because like with the stage production, it's like, oh my God, look at all this work that they did to like make it physically happen, and then
Yeah.
it's such a weird jump.
And then the casting was like weird, like
Jason Derulo.
yeah, like that Jason Derulo and James Corden and like Judi Dench, and I'm like, all these actors, like, how are they all supposed to fit together?
I can't see Judi Dench as anything but what's her character in Cats anymore. It's
Oh, I don't know.
totally ruined for me.
Oh no.
I thought you were gonna say like M from James Bond, and I'm like, that's what I always see her as. But then like, but then you're like, oh, she's from Cats, and I'm like, okay, good luck watching like Skyfall.
Can't.
Yeah, I didn't watch the new James Bond movies until this year. And it's just like, oh my God, Judi Dench is in it.
Ruined.
What did you think of those? Did you enjoy? Well, I guess they're kind of vary in quality, but like, yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought they were. To be fair, in all honesty, I did not watch Quantum of Solace. We skipped over that one because my parents and I, we wanted to go see No Time to Die, but like none of us
Right.
had seen any of like the Daniel Craig James Bond movies.
Yes.
So like we just had to like go through them as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And you chose Quantum of Solace to skip over?
For time, or was it because of its reputation?
For time, and also because it was just the easiest one to skip over because I've heard the most bad things about it.
Did you feel like you missed any story beats by skipping that one?
I don't think so. I mean, I was a little confused. Like this new woman just shows up. I was like, all right, I can deal with that. Like a new love interest. I mean, Casino Royale was great. Skyfall, great.
Mm-hmm. And then Spectre's like, it's a thing.
Spectre is, exactly.
It's better than Quantum of Solace, clearly. It just doesn't quite come together as a whole, but there's so many like standalone good things in it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And then No Time to Die is pretty solid too. I liked that one.
Spectre's the one with Christoph Waltz, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like my review was like all the pieces are there, it just doesn't click into place. And I'm like, I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, like any movie where Daniel Craig is playing Bond, it's at least going to be entertaining.
Yes.
What do you think about a James Bond cinematic universe? Like, I just heard the news, like, Amazon's, like,
Yes.
thinking about expanding and going, like, more Bond movies in that universe.
I'm sure they will.
Well, here's the thing. There's only one cinematic universe that stands above the rest, and that's the Dark Universe. So clearly it's got some big shoes to fill.
The Dark Universe with their one movie.
Yes. And apparently it's not good, so...
It's okay.
I do want to see, because I've never seen them, I do want to watch the Brendan Fraser Mummies. So I think I said this last time. I don't know if it was on the episode or not, but I want to fill in my Brendan Fraser movie gaps.
Somehow we did talk about Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, because Tuna and I watched Back in Action, and we were just, like, going crazy on Brendan Fraser showing up. We're just like, yeah! Like, Brendan Fraser.
How do you feel about the James Bond universe, Graham?
I just think... Why? You know? Like, what else is there to tell? Because, like, if we're not going to do James Bond, it's not... Like, who wants a Q origin story? Who wants a Moneypenny origin story? Like...
I mean, Skyfall kind of already did that, and it did it well, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the Bond movies on their own, like, work as a universe.
Yeah, I don't think they need to keep it going. But I feel that way about everything nowadays.
But, you know, everything's got to be a universe now, so...
Yeah, no, I'm tired of it.
I was hoping that they might do make Lashana Lynch like the new agent, and then that's like the movies can follow her.
Yeah, like, that would be fine.
Yeah.
Passable.
In the new, for those who don't know, in No Time to Die, the last Daniel Craig one, she's like 007, but then like she is, but then like, you know, James Bond also is, and then it's like, oh, she could be like the next character like that we follow, which would be great. But then
he kind of passes the baton to her.
Yeah, that was so crazy watching those, because my roommate and I, Tuna and I, we also watched those in like a week, like up to No Time to Die. I think we watched them in like 3 or 4 days, so that was like that was quite the experience, because I hadn't seen Spectre before then, so I just seen the first 3 and I had vague memories of all of them. Yeah, so in A Christmas Story, what did I rate that?
Oh, right, the movie we were talking about.
See, yeah, it happens.
It happens.
Yeah, that always happens. Yeah, so in A Christmas Story, the scene with Santa just reminded me, so I forget what the scene with Santa in Black Christmas is. Oh wait, there's a mall Santa in Black Christmas, and he's just like cursing like at every child. Oh, F this and SOB and like all these things. And then cut to A Christmas Story, and then Santa's just like, oh, I gotta do this again.
What happened to Bob Clark?
Yeah.
Like with Mall Santas.
That's where I was going.
Where's the trauma coming from?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, when you said that, I just started laughing so hard. Like when that scene came up in Christmas Story, I'm like, you know, you make a very good point. Like, I want to know. I don't know if Bob Clark is still alive, but if he is, we should ask him. He might not be alive anymore. Let me see. Yeah, he died 2007.
Rest in peace.
He was 67. Yes. He died of he was killed in a car crash. Him and his youngest son, who was 22. Oh wow.
Ooh.
And then the other person that was driving was sentenced to 6 years in prison. But yeah, Bob Clark also directed Porky's 2,
Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
Oh my gosh.
No.
He directed both the first and the second. That was his last movie, was Super Babies 2.
Oh.
And then he also directed It Runs in the Family, which we will get to.
Yeah, I need you to educate us on all these Christmas Story follow-ups.
Don't worry, bro. I will. I got you. I can't believe that's the last movie Bob Clark directed. Man, that's so sad. And it came out like 3 years before he died.
Yeah, that's grim.
But also, to lighten the mood a little bit, there are many Baby Geniuses sequels.
What?
Believe it or not. Yeah, I found this out. So I know I saw the first one when I was a kid. I don't know if I ever saw the second.
Oh
but
my god, so bad.
I don't remember a thing about either of them. I just know I watched it.
I've only ever seen like a review just ripping into them, so.
So there's a third one in 2013, a fourth one in 2014, and a fifth one in 2015. So it's Baby Geniuses, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2, Baby Geniuses 3, Baby Squad Investigators, Baby Geniuses and the Treasures of Egypt, and it's the poster on Letterboxd is styled like the Indiana Jones logo. And then the fifth one's called Baby Geniuses and the Space Baby. And I thought it said and the Spice Baby. I'm like, hold up. It said Space Baby.
Dune Universe.
Dune Universe. And John Voight is in them, all of them, apparently. Well, he's in 5, 4, 3. Yes, John Voight is in all of them, except I don't see him in the first one. You know, John Voight from Mission Impossible and Heat and Zoolander and National Treasure and, you know, that guy.
What is it with all the weird follow-ups to Bob Clark movies?
Yes.
Like, it just doesn't pan out when he leaves.
No. Bob Clark's like, all right, y'all can just take it from here. And then when he sees what they've done, he's like, what did you do? So Christmas Story was first followed. The PB series American Playhouse produced 2 subsequent TV films with the same characters. They're called, and Gene Shepard was the narrator of Christmas Story. He was also the narrator of both of these 2 movies. It's called The Star-Crossed Romance of Josephine Kosnowski and Ollie Hopnoodle's Haven of Bliss. Now, Haven of Bliss was released only on VHS, and the other one wasn't released anywhere at all, but both of them are on YouTube. Still going. That's just part 1.
Wait, how is it not released at all? Like,
because it was on TV in like the 70s or the
see.
80s, and like, you know, they didn't release everything at that point.
I just thought it was sitting in a garage somewhere.
Yeah, someone found it. Like, I have a gold mine. They uploaded it to YouTube. It has like, I don't know how many views, but probably not many. But also, some people still remember it. So those are both TV films. And then there was a theatrical sequel, also about Ralphie and his family, and it was called It Runs in the Family, made in 1994. Bob Clark did direct this one, and Gene Shepard also was the narrator. And then when it came out on video, it was retitled My Summer Story, and that's what it's called now on DVD, VHS, everything. Mary Steenburgen is in it as Mrs. Parker, and Kieran Culkin is Ralphie. He's also Fuller in Home Alone and Wallace in Scott Pilgrim. So yeah, that guy.
He's popping off right now in Succession, Kieran Culkin.
Oh yeah. Yeah, have you seen Succession? Is it any good?
I've seen the first couple episodes. It's really good. Like, my parents kept telling me to watch it. They love it, but
Okay.
I gotta get into it.
Is that Netflix or HBO? Sorry.
HBO Max.
Okay.
And then in 2012, direct-to-video was released A Christmas Story 2, which does not have Gene Shepard as narrator because he's passed away, and that's what they call the official sequel. Like, in the trailer, it's like the official sequel.
Weird.
And yeah, and then that one's directed by Brian Levant, who directed Problem Child 2, Beethoven, The Flintstones, starring Kyle MacLachlan, Jingle All the Way, The Flintstones 2, Snow Dogs, Are We There Yet, The Spy Next Door, Scooby-Doo Mystery Begins, Curse of the Lake Monster, and Christmas Story 2.
This dude directed my whole childhood.
Right?
I know, man. That's what yeah.
Oh my god.
I have not seen The Flintstones, but I kind of want to just because Kyle MacLachlan's in it.
Like the movie?
Yes, the 90s
like
live-action
live
movie with
action.
John Goodman. Yeah, he directed both of them. John Goodman,
I didn't know
Rick
that
Moranis.
existed. Oh my god, what?
Yeah. John Goodman and Rick Moranis are Fred and Barney, respectively.
Oh
and
my
Kyle
God.
MacLachlan is also in it, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yes, okay, I need to watch that.
And I'm just checking. Second one has, completely different actors. but it's the same director. I just learned this now. I thought both movies had John Goodman and Rick Moranis, but second one's called Viva Rock Vegas, and then Alan Cumming is in it. You know, Floop himself. I would watch that just because he's in it. I've seen most of those movies of Brian Levance directed, by the way. But yeah, that turned into like 4 different tangents.
So, is that all the sequels then?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
And then there's also like the Christmas Story Live that Matthew Broderick was in like 2015. Like that trend of ABC, they did it with Grease and Sound of Music.
Oh, yes.
Hairspray.
Yeah, I've not seen any of those. Have either of you seen any of those?
I don't think so.
I saw Peter Pan and I think maybe Grease.
Okay, check this out. When we were talking about Cat in the Hat, there was something I forgot. I don't remember what it was. And Graham, you just said Peter Pan, and it reminded me of that. Cat in the Hat, and then the 2003 Peter Pan, which I also rewatched recently, which holds up. It's great. But I saw I had both of those on DVD, and they both had trailers for each other, you know? So, like, I remember both trailers for both movies very vividly.
I love that live action Peter Pan.
Yeah, it's great. Like, I hadn't seen it in years, and then we watched it again, and I'm like, why is this, like, the best Peter Pan movie ever? Like, it's great.
Like, the score is amazing.
Yeah.
And, like, the flying sequence, like, when they're first going to Neverland, like, that's cinema right there.
It's trippy. I love it.
Like, I think I had that on a DVD when I was little. It was like a triple pack with The Borrowers and Thunderbirds. Like, 2 completely unrelated movies.
Oh my gosh, The Borrowers. Wow.
John Goodman's in that too, isn't he?
Yeah, another John Goodman film.
There we go. It's all connected.
You guys are taking me back.
I can just see him covered in cheese and mouse traps and whatever.
I rented that from the library, and I haven't seen it since, but I just remember that movie. I just remember little tiny memories of that movie like it was some fever dream.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, yeah, so...
Oh, yeah.
Favorite part of A Christmas Story? Anyone?
Any one of the dream sequences, honestly. Like, Ralph's little fantasies, like, the soap poisoning scene, like... It's just so, like, classic kid stuff.
Oh, yeah, it is such, like, a cute, innocent movie.
Except when it's horrifying.
Yeah, except for the looming terror.
Schwartz gets his ass beat over the phone.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I didn't like that.
Because it does remind you of Black Christmas.
Yes, I think just seeing it as an adult, those things just stuck out to me, and then like just like got under my skin. Like, just like sometimes like certain things the parents would say or the way they behaved, like I'm just like, oh, that wouldn't fly today. And then like when she's like, where did you hear that word? And then he was like, I wanted to say dad, but Schwartz slipped out. And then she calls Schwartz, and then like Schwartz's mom, and then like he gets like the crap kicked out of him. It's like, man, that's just like disturbing. Like,
so dark.
Maybe that was funny in the 80s, but like, yeah, no, that's Bob Clark's like Black Christmas side coming out.
Yeah.
I really like, what's Ralphie's brother's name?
Oh,
why don't we know? Randy.
What is it?
Randy.
Oh, he's so cute. I like when he's all bundled up in his snow clothes and he can't move. That's how I feel.
Can't put my arms down.
I can't like to reenact that scene.
Yeah, that's great.
That's classic.
So cute.
I like the dream that Ralphie has when he's like blind, because I remember that is one of the scenes I caught on TV without context, and I'm just as a kid being like, wait, he's blind now? Like, what happened? What did I miss?
He's just like an old man.
Yeah. And then I would come back and it'd be like the mall Santa scene, and I'm like, okay, I guess he's not blind now, and I'm just like me being confused as a child. I'd always seen like little clips of it on TV because other people that like I was related to had seen it and they'd have it on in the background, but like I never sat down and like watched it all. So like I would just have these little random. It's kind of like The Borrowers, where I just have like random scenes like just in my head that I remembered, and then I saw it in full. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what this means, and that's what that means, and it all kind of came together.
Yeah.
I love those like trailer moments that are just like forever burned in my brain because like I would just see them over and over again. Like Disney Channel, like that's a big one. Like,
Oh my
'cause
god.
they would push their their DComs like so hard. So like,
Oh my god. Yeah, like when you're watching them now, you're like, oh, that was in the trailer. I remember that.
that's the song.
Yes.
Camp
That's so
Rock.
sad.
Yeah, that's the song. I love that, like, right away, like, that's the one you went to. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's like the first one in my brain.
For me, it's Halloween is cool.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
Powers?
Graham
What
has
powers?
Oh my god, stop. This is crazy.
Graham had a tape that he digitized. It's like the first 3 Halloween Towns, like, all off of TV, and it's like one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
I love it
Nice.
because it like has all the. It was the big Haunttoberfest, so it was like
Oh man.
and it was like advertising like the newest like Halloween Town to come out, and it was just all those like promos. It's so
Yeah.
nostalgic.
That's so
Yes.
cool.
And then it's got the Disney Channel narrator's voice, but it's like he's putting on his Halloween voice, and it's like, it's great.
I miss him.
Yeah. That guy should just narrate all the trailers.
Forever.
Like, forever, like every movie trailer.
Let's get him in an AI voice and we can have him around forever.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
There was also a female announcer for Disney Channel, but I remember her voice too, but like not as much.
Yeah, like I can hear her saying like, "Up next, that's a Raven."
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
Childhood's crazy. Which does thematically tie into the movie, so
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very nostalgic feel all around.
it does. Like, even though I don't have full nostalgia for it, it still like does give me like little things that Ralphie does just bring me nostalgia, like waiting in line to go see Santa, or like wanting to not be at the holiday parade, just being bored, or like like when he's waiting for his package in the mail, and then it's like the whole like intense he's trying to decode the message. I'm like, I did stuff
Yes.
like that. Like,
A crummy commercial.
I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't mention the number 1 trailer moment of the movie, which is when Flick gets his tongue stuck on the pole.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
that still gets it's flying through my brain right now.
It's so frustrating.
Oh man, did you have kids like on the playground doing that when you were kids?
No.
I think no, because explicitly because of that moment, because it's just like so terrifying.
Oh no, all these kids used to do it at my school.
Oh wow.
They're stupid.
Did they ever get
Oh,
stuck?
I'm sure. Yeah, I remember people like bleeding and stuff, and
Oh my god.
yeah, they're
The thing is, like, just get some hot water. Like, somebody breathe on it. Like, something.
Right?
Like, try something.
Yeah.
The bunny suit at the end. Such an iconic image.
It reminds me of in The Graduate when they make Ben put on the diving suit and he doesn't want to do it, and then they're like, "Come on, like we got this for you." It has like the same kind of energy to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that the ending gives me the exact opposite vibes of Black Christmas.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, like, I mentioned this to you, Jake, before, but, like, I listened to your Halloween episode, and you kind of talk about how watching Halloween 1 and then Halloween 2, it feels like you're staying up all night with Lori, and then at the end, it's just, like... It's that same kind of feeling I get with Black Christmas, where, like, it almost, like, the ending of that movie kind of continues into a Christmas story, and it feels like, you know, one long Christmas night.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way. That's awesome.
And then that's just, like, such a perfect ending image of, like, the house and the snow. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, we debated. I don't know if I said this on the audio or not, but we debated like watching A Christmas Story 2 because it's also on HBO right next to it. But then it was super late, so we're just like, yeah, we'll just wait. But we thought it'd be funny like if we came on and we're like, yeah, we watched a bonus movie, Maddie. Sorry.
Just did not tell you at all.
That'd
Yes.
be fine. Fine.
Yeah, we watched Ollie Hop Noodles, whatever.
Yeah, whatever that is.
We watched all 5 Baby Geniuses.
Oh my god.
And yes, it was one of the most torturous experiences of our lives.
So bad.
And then we also watched like all the like the 2 Black Christmas remakes, like just everything that's like Bob Clark sequels that aren't Bob Clark.
Yeah, I need to watch the newest Black Christmas, give it another chance.
I weirdly want to see A Christmas Story 2, even though it's probably awful.
Oh yeah, I've seen the trailer for that, and I remember thinking like, oh, why in the world would you make this?
Daniel Stern is in it. He plays the dad.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only actor I know. I don't know if any of their actors are in anything. It's funny because on a similar tangent, there's like a movie that is with Daniel Stern from like the '90s, and it was supposed to be a movie just about Marv, but then at the last second they changed it, so it was supposed to be like a Home Alone like spinoff. Um, and then now there's like 6 Home Alones, and then plus that one, so
Yeah.
that'd be like 7. So then that would also be another cinematic universe.
Yeah, all the Home Alone sequels, it's like, it's bizarre.
Oh God.
I've seen all of them except for the one that's on Plus now.
I've only seen 1 through 4.
I'm kind of ashamed, but I'm also not ashamed. Because my sister and I, we watched all of them in a weekend, like a couple years ago, around the holidays, and then that was all that was out at the time. And then Graham, you had the idea of like, oh, I want to see like all the Alien movies and all the Predator movies, and I'm like,
Yes.
that would be such a fun marathon.
Just ridiculously long, but fun.
Yes. Then I was like, well, there's 2 cuts of all the Alien movies, so like, there's more to it.
Yeah, like that's a straight week of movies for sure.
We did it, or we did the 4 Alien movies, for an episode.
Yeah, I'm glad we did that.
Oh wow.
It was fun.
I guess we can go to our letterbox and talk about what we watched recently.
Yeah. So, Graham, what did you watch recently?
Most recently, I watched The Matrix and The Matrix Reloaded. The first Black Christmas remake. Yeah, that was an interesting one. The first remake, I enjoyed it because it's fun. You know, it's got Mary Elizabeth Winstead. It's got the Gossip Girl actress, or no, I think Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just so much fun, so silly.
Yeah, I think I'd enjoy that.
What did you think of Matrix 1 and 2 after rewatching them?
Well, I'd never seen the second Matrix. I'd only seen the first one. Even then,
Okay.
I feel like I was too young to like fully like appreciate it. So, just like such good action and like the visuals, and you know the second one was a little silly. Like it's a little weird that Neo can fly now. And
It's so different than the first one.
It is.
Like I just rewatched those two. It has a whole different vibe.
yeah, I see that. Like I like all the futuristic stuff in that universe, like getting to see Zion and like all the machines. Like I think that's my favorite part of it. So I was glad we got more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the first 2 for the first time when we started film school, Maddie, because we were doing that project. The greatest accomplishment of my life, as I like to call it. And Graham, I will fill you in on that in a moment, but I watched the first 2 around that time. I had never seen either of them. I remember thinking they were both like, I enjoyed both of them quite a bit, and I still to this day have not seen Revolutions, so I'm going to watch all 3 of them and rewatch The Animatrix also before Resurrections comes out, because that movie looks great.
Animatrix.
It's good. The Animatrix is good. Also, fun fact: all of the shorts they have the Animatrix on Letterboxd, but then they also have all the shorts separately. So like that's like 12 movies for you to like add to your
Yeah, I noticed that.
film count. So in film school, we were tasked with the project was for editing for post class. It was take a scene from The Matrix, take out the audio, and put in your own audio. So I did that, and that went over quite well.
Oh, I have to see that.
Yes, I will send it. I will put it in the group chat. And then we did 2 scenes, and then both of them were quite I think were pretty well received, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
I kept thinking about it the whole time I was watching.
But yeah, so anyway, so you watched Matrix, and Maddie, you also watched Matrix 1 and 2. I'll get on that. And then you also said you watched the Black Christmas remake.
Yeah. Also, Spider-Man. I feel like just bombarded with Spider-Man right now.
Ooh.
Oh, we rewatched Homecoming and Far From Home.
I'm not incredibly keen on Marvel, but I really do like what they do with Spider-Man. Like it's interesting.
Agreed.
And I think I want to watch Far From Home like right before, the new No Way Home, because I think
Yes.
that was such a crazy cliffhanger. Like that was daring.
It's crazy because Tuan had already seen it, and then when we watched it together, like in the theater, because he saw it in theaters twice, and then he took me to see it, and like my reaction to not only seeing that actor come back and then the twist after, it was like two mind-blowing things in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Did you watch all the other Spider-Man movies along with the Marvel ones this week or recently?
We planned to, but we didn't. We're also planning on making fan edits of some of them, which we also haven't started. Of Spider-Man 3 and both amazing movies because...
Oh, Spider-Man 3 could really benefit.
Yeah, so we watched the Raimi trilogy again, like when we first moved here, like 6 months ago. And for both of us, me and my roommate, it is just so, like, it's one of the, like, most inspiring and, like, movies ever, especially the first two. And it's, like, such a big reason why I love movies is because of those movies. Like, just the filmmaking is amazing and, like, just the tone is great and the casting's great and there's just so much love put into them. And the first two are two of my favorite films ever. And I also kind of love Spider-Man 3, even though it's, like, got issues.
Spider-Man 2 is just peak superhero cinema, I think.
It is. I might think of another one eventually, but I can say it's like, if not the all-time best superhero movie ever made, it's pretty close. Yeah. It's so freaking good. It is so just, there's nothing, I don't have any flaws with it. It's like perfect.
Yeah, because with my recent rewatch of all the Spider-Man movies, like, I have like Spider-Man 2 and Into the Spider-Verse just kind of like teetering at the top.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised. I enjoyed the Andrew Garfield movies a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
Like, they're silly, but
even with the crazy tonal shift between the first two movies and like I do kind of dig the vibe of the first movie a little bit, like a little bit more. And I think that like yeah, both movies have problems, especially the second one, but like the core relationship with him and Emma Stone I think is just so good in both movies.
Yeah, it's really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Dang, now I want to rewatch all these.
And the second one is so much brighter too.
It is. And then it gets really dark. at the end it's like, oh my god, like wow, they went there. I mean the trailers told you they were going there, but like
here's my question, Jake. What are you thinking about cutting from Spider-Man 3?
So there is the editor's cut. So we're just thinking we'll put in the scene. We're not going to cut anything out because you kind of can't because it's all kind of connected. But we're more just thinking the scenes from the editor's cut that are like the new stuff. We'll put that into the theatrical cut and then like just kind of see how it flows. But for Amazing 1 and 2, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of minor things that we would cut out and like to streamline it a little bit. But also like there's deleted scenes that just automatically make the movie better. Like there's so many scenes about Dr. Connor's motivation and like tying up plot threads, and then in part 2 it's like there's more stuff with Harry that like sets up the ending, and there's like just like there's that scene where he in the theatrical cut of Amazing 2 when he and Peter talk on the phone and then he gets like an exposition dump, but then like in the movie it's them like sitting in the deleted scenes, it's them sitting down and just like talking. It's like a 4-minute scene. It's so much better. So I know that was more of a broad answer to your question. But yeah.
No, it was a good answer.
Thank you. Speaking of fan edits, I'm also thinking I would like to make a fan edit of Batman Forever because I also love that movie and I want to make a better version. And also When Marnie Was There, only for one reason.
I think I know.
Yes. You know what I want to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Give the people what they want, Jake.
Yes, I will. It's so funny how I saw that movie in high school and how like it deeply affected me. But then now it's like there's 5 other things that are ingrained in my mind for that movie. Not even because of the movie itself, but like surrounding things. So, but what I was going to say was I read the original book, and it's like, yes, in the book they are also very romantic, and in the I read something somewhere where I could never find it again. I think I mentioned it in like the first episode or something of film therapy, but like the author was writing them to be in a relationship but couldn't at the time because it was like the 60s or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why the movie concludes the way it does. But to me, it's still a queer movie, and it's one of my favorite ones.
Oh, for sure.
If you can count it. I will take a picture. Maddie got me this. It's a tapestry of the house from the movie, and it's on my wall.
Wow. Maddie, do you like Ghibli movies?
Yeah, Jake has gotten me into them, and I watched a few as a kid. I still haven't gone back and rewatched those, except for Spirited Away, but that movie scares me.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Yeah. But I've seen, when Marnie was there, I love it so much.
Nausicaa. Which is
Nausicaa.
basically Dune.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
We recorded an episode for it, and then it got lost. So
Yeah, the lost episode of Nausicaa.
we spent the whole time just talking about one thing. Basically.
Her butt.
How did it get lost?
I don't know, man.
I don't remember. I think what happened was like we both had the files, and then the file got misplaced, and then like I forget. But anyway, it doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that's
it's okay.
So so in the chat, that's what that is. It's my When Marnie Was There art. And then if that wasn't enough clarity that I'm an anime fan, I have 2 Your Lie in April pieces of art on my other wall. So
Yeah, it's weird because I never saw like any of the Studio Ghibli movies like as a kid. Like I always saw trailers for them and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But so like the last couple of years, like I've just been like going through all of them and it's like it's so great just getting to experience it for the first time.
Which ones do you like a lot?
Well, My Neighbor Totoro obviously is like that one. Spirited Away, I like that one.
have you seen Grave of the Fireflies?
No, I haven't. I've heard it's sad.
It might be the saddest movie I've ever seen. I think I'll keep that statement.
Yeah.
It destroyed me in so many, like you'll need something. It's great, like it's amazing, but it's so devastating. You will need something after. When they came out with it, they screened it with Totoro as a double feature because it was just so depressing.
Just something to uplift everyone.
Yes, like for real.
Oh, Kiki's Delivery Service too. I love that.
Oh,
That's
great.
one I definitely want to rewatch. I remember liking it as a kid.
That one's really great. Kirsten Dunst is in that as Mary Jane.
Mm.
Yes, she's great.
One of my friends, Whisper of the Heart, that's his favorite movie, like ever.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't gonna like it because like it's not Hayao Miyazaki, but I was so surprised. It's amazing.
Yeah. I got to see Castle in the Sky in theaters, and that was like one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. And I just went to it just by myself, but just seeing it just on the big screen was just so magical. Not to be confused with Howl's Moving Castle, which I've also seen. Or Castle of Cagliostro, which is also a Miyazaki movie, but not a Studio Ghibli movie.
So many branches.
Yes.
I didn't watch anything this week. I mean, I watched the Matrix ones like a couple weeks ago, but I haven't watched anything new, sadly.
We forgive you.
Okay, thanks.
It's okay. I watched West Side Story, the new one. I still have not seen the original, but I want to. Just for comparison's sake. But I thought the new one was pretty good. I wasn't like totally enamored with it, like I was kind of secretly hoping, but it was still like such a well-made movie. Like Spielberg's direction is just so, of course it is, because he's always wanted to make a musical and now he finally got to, and like you can just tell how much passion and love he had for the genre and for this story. It just wasn't like my favorite musical, but I still thought it had a lot of great things in it.
Good, okay. Glad it was
Yeah.
good.
West Side Story is a hard one for me because I was in a production and like I played Baby John. So like I wasn't like a huge role, but I had this director and he was like, oh, he was so brutal, man. He was so mean to everybody.
Oh.
And so like every time I hear Mambo, I can just like hear him yelling. It's just so traumatizing.
Yikes.
Dude, I'm sorry. That's I can somewhat relate. I was in Annie and the Wizard of Oz, and we had a very similar type of. We had 2 directors, and both of them were very that way.
Oh yeah. I'm so sorry.
Not fun.
And they're such wholesome shows too, Annie and the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Right. Annie was really fun because a lot of my friends were in it, and then when Wizard of Oz happened the following year, like they were all, like you know, not as many people were in it because they had like sports and other things like they had to do.
Yeah.
But then also one of my best friends at the time, who I'm still really good friends with, he was in it and he played the wizard, and that was great because he's just like one of the most charismatic people I know. So like, you know, that part was great.
Yeah. Like you're happy for the experience nonetheless.
Yes.
Like I got paid for West Side Story, so not a total loss.
Oh, dang,
awesome.
nice.
Ours were school, so like it was just like you just signed up and you did it.
Yeah.
The other thing I watched that I wanted to talk about was actually 2 things. So my roommate and I we just last night we watched the first 2, and this morning we watched the third one, rewatching the Diary of a Wimpy Kid cinematic trilogy, starring Devin Bostick. And there's a moment where one of the characters is singing Memories from Cats, so I wanted to tie it all together.
Yeah, my mom is a huge Cats fan, so she thought that was hilarious.
In that movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And I think last time I said I wanted to save this for this time because you'd be here. But we had the pleasure of having a Goosebumps marathon for like 7 hours, and it was amazing. Welcome to Camp Nightmare is an episode that is now one of my new favorite things. It's like Sleepwalkers, except not until the very end, where it just blows your mind.
You gotta
Literally
watch
for
it.
twice.
You gotta watch it.
We won't spoil it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yes, it's on Netflix. It's like 45 minutes. You have the time. Go watch it.
Anything else? Did you watch anything else?
No, that was everything I wrote down.
Awesome. This was a good, fun episode. I really enjoyed watching Black Christmas and getting to meet you, Graham. Thanks for being here.
Yes, you
Yeah,
too.
thanks for
Thank you
being
so much
here.
for having me.
Yeah, it was great. I'm glad you got to be on here.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
You come back and we'll do some other movies sometime, because you know there's many more.
Yes. There's never a shortage.
Wait, next is episode 50, right? We know what we got to do.
Oh, shit. Oh, all right. Next is episode 50, our very
Yes.
special episode we've been planning from the very beginning, pretty much.
We're going to talk about Garden State, which is a very special movie for way too many reasons now. I'll probably talk about all of them, actually. Maybe.
It'll be a good therapy session.
Yeah, Graham, I recommend that movie, but yeah, I was gonna say go listen to the episode, but I'm like, well, you gotta watch the movie first. But yeah, yeah, it's a movie. It's kind of like the genesis of my friendship with Maddie is that movie. That was like the first thing we bonded over was Garden State. So
Is that Zach Braff?
yes, Zach Braff and Natalie Portman.
Okay. I'm thinking of the right movie.
Yeah, so there we go. Fate decided it for us.
Perfect.
Take a break from the hard stuff. Just enjoy
Yeah.
time with the people you want to spend time with, and if that's just yourself, that's fine too.
Watch a good movie.
Always. We'll see you soon. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Get out.